Backflow testers, my name is Matt. I run a small business testing backflows in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm out testing right now, and it's just some random thoughts that popped in my head because I've been doing this as my own business for about a decade now. First up, you need to consider insurance. Okay, there's actually quite a bit of liability in backflow testing, and the one that comes to mind is sprinklers, indoor fire suppression systems. If you were to leave with the backflow off either one of those where water flow was not flowing and there was a fire, there's going to be an investigation, right? And that's one of the things they're going to check. If the backflow is stuck in the off position, well, who touched it last? You could potentially be liable for that. $1 million insurance might not cover something like that. Hell, my small home is almost out of the Pacific Northwest. So I can only imagine how much it costs to put up a commercial building. Second up, beyond insurance, you got to figure out what an adequate amount to charge is, but not a crazy amount, but don't shortchange yourself, right? Find out what are the medium averages, maybe go just slightly higher than that. Especially if you're a brand new business, you don't need to undercut everybody. You just don't. It's a required service. People are going to hire somebody, and maybe not everybody, but a small amount of public wants quality. They want timeliness. They want a receipt. They want a service. And if you say you're going to do certain things and don't do it, they're just going to move on to the next guy. So if you're reliable and do exactly what you're going to say you're going to do, people will stick with you. Next up, every test is a repeat customer. It's not one test, it's an annual test. Okay? That customer should be your customer for life unless they're moving, right? So offer a mechanism. In my case, when I send the test results, I have a pre-canned email that says, hey, here's what auto testing looks like. I'm going to send out a reminder in January. I'll send out an estimate. If you click confirm, I will send you the actual invoice and schedule the test. That's how I run my business, but there's a lot of ways to automate that and make it easy, but you should have repeat work. And oh, by the way, most of the time you can just show up and do it if it's accessible out front and you're not roaming around the front of a house. Just swing by, do it, take care of it. And a lot of my customers prepay, which is nice. That money comes into the account. So in my dead months, when it's slower seasonally, still got money coming in, and I can schedule that work and group it. Now, grouping work. I have tried apps on my cell phone. Funny enough, this Tesla helps me with that tremendously. I can't really show it to you right now, but in that big iPad sitting on the front screen here, guess what? It does all my testing as far as I put the addresses in there. It guides me to that location. It routes me around traffic. If I'm taking a call, it's all integrated. It's super simple. It's the best setup in any car as far as the technology, the integration. Mind-blowing if you haven't ever used that type of setup, but it makes it easy. And oh, by the way, I don't have to start and warm a car up. I just hit a button and away I go. So I did a separate video on why I did an EV as far as my testing business, and funny enough, I didn't even bring that up. What else can I talk about? There's just so many things to cover. I tell you what, let me conclude with that. If you got questions or comments, throw that in the chat area. I'll try to respond to that the best I can. But actually, I have one more thing to cover. Health insurance. Okay, that makes this difficult if you have a family and this is a full-time business, right? Most testers I know are either working for another company or they're testing as a side business, not full-time, but part-time as additional hustle money, if that makes sense. The people doing it full-time, right, you have to consider health insurance. Now, I'm retired Air Force. I pay a small amount, but it's not a lot for health insurance, so I'm able to do this when I was a young business first starting, and now, a decade later, this is kind of like a full-time thing for me. But you have to factor that into your profit loss if you're having to pay for it, and depending on where you are, health insurance is outrageous. So in that case, it might be better just to have this as a part-time side hustle, if that makes sense, because you can amp up your income and there's a lot of flexibility in it. So I'd be curious to see in the chat how you guys are handling that. With that, I'm going to conclude. Happy testing.